And I'm going back to my old library. I've got a big library full of books. I mean, must be 200 books in that thing that I've read. And I'm going back and rereading some of them. Just, I like that food. That lady that waited on us this morning up there at that motel, boy, she was a cook. I mean, she brought out a bowl of scrambled eggs. I mean, I said, we can't eat all this. And it's all gone when we got through. And waffles and all kinds of goodies. So, and Sherri went there and told her, went back, made a point to go back and tell her how much we appreciate it. I want people to know that Christians are appreciative.
Yes, they are.
And so getting your daily bread has to do with finding the pertinent subject matter. It relates to right where you are. It's the very next step of growth. You get every word on that subject, then you're ready for the next step. And when I was teaching young people, I had one I said, Nick, this is a young man that I had when I got drunk at his wedding in the spirit. And I said, Nick, why don't you come outside and jump up on top of my house? They all look at me, you know why? You know that's impossible. I said, yes, it is impossible, but if I give you a ladder, you can step up there a step at a time and no problem. So as you are coming into the fullness of the manifestation of the Lord Jesus Christ, it's taking a step at a time to get there. I don't know any ministers that have jumped up there in one step.
Right.
But you'll get there quickly if you take a step at a time and you get your daily bread. And I had a dream one night. I was ministering to some people, and I had served them a really beautiful plate of food. And in the dream, they just picked around on it and just kind of ate a little of it, just kind of what they wanted. And the Lord told me to serve them the same food. And he had me camouflage it. I put policy around over it and, kind of fix it. It was the same stuff, but it did look different. And so sometimes you kind of have to appropriate, what's that word? Approach.
That's a good one.
Appropriate people.
It's good.
Okay, Lord. I'm Harsti Korea Sim Chinako. Kili Menasuri Serin Gavia. Kili Mohusaya. Ro Zemiki Pentizian Trace Gusa Spakamata Hasecho. And even I, the Son of God, did approach the disciples in many different ways, teaching them the same subject, parable after parable, so they would grasp and understand the concept of what it means to walk with me and to do my works. I've never had that happen before. I couldn't say the Lord was trying to get me into tongues and I didn't know it. So he coined the word appropriate. So this was the subject matter this morning, is how to get your daily word. So now it will require you spending some time. You're not going to be able to run by and just grab one little morsel and think, well, that's it. No, you'll have to get in the Word of God. And I still use this old concordance. I've learned how to get on the computer. But everybody that you deal with is not going to be, computer literate. I know she used to work in computers, I found out. And some of these days I'll hire her to come and teach me some stuff or something. But you can get your daily bread by just get your concordance and dig every word on the subject. And that when the Lord told me about the prophecy routine, he said, not every word in the New Covenant, every word in the Word, Old Covenant. And I've learned some things here just recently that I read right over because it wasn't part of my daily bread.
Right.
Or if it was, I didn't know it. But I really began studying about the life of Abraham. And things have come up that I had missed in Abraham's life. And when I was seeking the Lord about the restoration of our physical bodies and our eyesight and hair and everything that might relate to you physically, that restoration, the first word the Lord spoke was, Abraham believed God, and he counted to him for righteousness. And so I took that and I thought, well, okay, I'm believing God. So I revert back to believing God, by your stripes I'm healed. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm believing, I'm confessing all this. But this book, Angels on Assignment, Brother Roland Buck, he was an Assemblies of God pastor, and he had a visitation to heaven. And the angel was escorting him all around in heaven and showing him the archives of people's lives. And he brought up Abraham's life, and it had all these things written about Abraham, about how he treated visitors, watered their camels, and did all these things for them, and all these things written. And Brother Buck said, well, where's that at there about him lying about his sister? Angel said, it's not recorded. Brother Buck said, well, I read it. I read the Bible. He did it. Did it twice. And he was pressing the angel about, why is it not recorded? You say this is the art. He said, because failures are not recorded in heaven. So don't let the devil ever come and browbeat you about any past mistakes or failures.
Yeah.
It's not part of your archive.
That's right.
And those type of things about Abraham, I'd read that book a long time ago. Kevin was about 6 or 7 years old, and I'd taken him to a Gold Sox baseball team. That was a minor league baseball pro team in Amarillo. And he liked to get after the game and go out and start running around those bases. He played baseball in high school. He was a good baseball player and a good wrestler. And so I was sitting there watching the game, and I heard these people right behind me talking about spiritual things. And I turned around and talked to this lady, and her name was Betty. Her husband's a veterinarian. I forgot what her. She went to train. She had a program on God's Learning Channel for quite a while. I forgot what her name was right now. And I said, well, I want to share something with you about the 7 spirits of God. And she got reminiscent, and then later on she got filled with Spirit and had her own program, was going to Pakistan and had a good ministry. And so just sharing that with her, that opened up kind of an avenue. And when I got kicked out of the training, I bumped into her at Applebee's.
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's the best thing that ever happened to you. And I don't know if she still goes there now or not, but she was a little farther out than what they were. And, so this situation about various incidents and things that happen to you, if you will learn, no matter what's going on, if you will get your daily bread, you'll be sustained. He'll give you the strength, and it'll be assimilated in your life, and you'll have the angel power to go with it. God backs it up. Now, what time are you getting ready?
It's 11:53. We'll probably need to be done right on that dot at 12:30 because the room's being rented.
Okay.
About 1, so we'll need to.
That's just time to clean up.
Can you tell them? Well, I don't want to interrupt your train of thought, but before.
No, I'm just going a little different direction.
Can you share with them the revelation you got on fasting? Because I've got a lot of people that fast, and I just thought that was very, very insightful about the hours.
Last night we had just really a sweet time of fellowship. It's funny how the Lord ordains things. We waited about an hour for our food, but if we got an instant, we'd have gone home. We'd got Cheryl everything we talked about. So don't get uptight about waiting for your food. I thought you were sweet last night when they brought you stuff you couldn't eat. And that black man, if I'd had a chance, I would have given him a prophetic word.
Yeah, I thought the same.
You know, boy, that guy, I felt his arm, and it was like steel. I knew when he walked up to this guy, he's strong, and boy, he flexed it when I got a hold of him. Boy, he felt like that chair.
David.
And I was on a protracted fast, 40 days and 40 nights, early in our life. It was just before we got married. And I was, as we say, gung-ho for the Lord, but I didn't have any wisdom. And I come off that fast, and I weighed 105 pounds. And I went over, and Sherri and I were planning on getting married, and her mother was a real sweet Methodist lady. She was an LVN that finished the 8th grade, I think it was, and then went back to school and got her LVN license. She's a tremendous woman. Well, we didn't tell her that I'd been fasting. She didn't know where I was at for 40 days. I went over to Shirley's house, and her mother, actually, she went into hysterics. Because I was all sunk in and skinny, and she thought I had absolutely gone crazy. She said, "No, you're not my daughter." And we didn't prepare her for it. And so I wasn't real wise about it. I didn't know what ever told me what to do. I just barely knew how to fast and survive. So the subject of fasting has been a part of my life, and the Lord called me one time, 40 days of fasting, 4 days a week for 10 weeks. Then other times, 2 or 3 days or 4 days or whatever. And I'd done quite a bit of fasting, and I always thought it meant a day and a night. So I was praying one day, and this just came out of the clear blue. I wasn't asking any questions about it. I was just seeking the Lord. And he said, "How many hours are there in a day?" How many hours are there in a day, lady? 24? How many did you say?
24.
That's what I said. Jesus, and the Lord said, "No, did I not say, are there not 12 hours in a day?" And I said, "Okay, so what?" The Lord said, "I'm talking to you about fasting. When I tell you to fast 2 days or whatever, I'm talking to you about fasting from 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening. And actually it's from sun up to sun down. But the Lord has accepted 6 to 6. And so it made my fasting a lot easier physically.
That's good news to
That is
me.
good.
I like going without me.
And God honors from 6 to 6 the same as he will honor a day and a night. Unless he tells you to do a day and a night. Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights. But there are other occasions where people would just fast so many days. And there are any number of incidents where you have to get the feel of the story. It talks about Ezekiel lying on his side all these days. I don't believe that means he lied there 24 hours.
I always wondered that.
I don't even believe it means he lied there 12 hours. He lay there. It definitely indicates he had to get up and go to the bathroom, and he had to cook food, and you can't do it laying on the ground. So he laid there as a prophetic symbol until people saw him day after day.